I mean, Blast from the Past is one of the best perks in the game. I can tank 5 propanes without even dying. Crap. Blast from the Past is probably the first late game perk that we have in the game. It allows for a lot of different builds, playstyles, and heroes that you can use. Specifically somebody like Survivalist Jonsey. Survivalist Jonsey gives you base healing per elimination. And if you remember yesterday, in yesterday's video, I asked the community, does Survivalist Jonsey's healing perk apply to trap eliminations? I got mixed results from you guys, some people saying yes, some people saying no. Regardless of if it did or did not, it does now. Survivalist Jonsey gives you health on every single elimination you can possibly get. The only thing I don't think it works on are defenders, but we have something for that too. At max level, with 131 players, this is a full team of 131 players, I was healing for about 100,000 health per elimination. That means it only takes 15 eliminations to get to full health at 1.5 million. 1.5 million health. I don't care what other kind of build you're running, except maybe Dim Mock, you're not going to be surviving 1.5 million damage and be able to walk away on that. Also, the fact that you can be fighting somewhere else, and as long as your traps are killing things, you're healing. Lastly, it doesn't matter what enemy gets killed. It could be a tiny little husk all the way up to a smasher. As long as you get that last tick of damage, you will receive 100k healing at max level. The perk is really, really fun to use, or as I would like to say, straight reckless. So I tried a bunch of different builds, but always incorporating Survivalist Jonsey. Why this works is because Jonsey's perk gives you a lot of healing on eliminations. Eliminations heal you for 117 base health. That also applies to scaling, so depending on what level you are and how many people are in your party, you will heal more. Like I said, I was healing for 100,000 health per elimination. A total of 15 eliminations will give me 1.5 million health. And it also refreshes with an additional elimination. What that means is if it's on its second tick of the heal, you kill another one, it goes back to the first one, allowing you to do a lot of wonky things that you couldn't get away with especially other soldier classes. Now, how we're going to apply this in the build is we're going to use Blast from the Past. I talked about this in my last video, how this perk is absolutely fantastic, a ton of fun, and actually makes some builds that you wouldn't really use a little different, and that makes late game players have a little variety in their playstyle. This build is a specific playstyle. The reason the video is probably going to be called Straight Reckless is because you were gonna be straight reckless. You're gonna be in their face, up front, personal, killing things, healing, killing things, healing. As long as you're killing, you're good to go. And having 200% extra health at no one in my party at max level is 734,000, allows you to take a lot of hits before you go down. The only issue with this is you have to have Saurian Claws and Saurian Hide in the build itself. So let's see what those perks do exactly. You can get both of these heroes right now through the quest line, and one is in the store. Grab them before they go away. Saurian Claws is kind of iffy here. We're not going for a melee build, although I do try to incorporate it a little later in the video. I'll show you with decent results, but nothing that I really like the first build, which is this. Saurian Claws gives you melee weapon damage as part of your health. So at 1.5 million, 5.5% of that is a decent chunk. Saurian Hide gives you an increased armor by 33, which is always on because you have no shield. Blast from the Past takes away your shield, so you constantly have armor. This isn't great to bring on this build, but it helps to increase your tankiness. Now, this is going to be a build that you use specifically for SMGs, a certain LMG, and maybe a pistol here and there, but mainly I was using it with the Silent Spectre and the Wraith. As you guys know, are probably two of the best guns in the game. Mathematically, argumentatively, whatever you want to say. The Silent Spectre and the Wraith is what I was using. You can use the Bobcat, you can use the Hemlock, you can use all those weapons. That's just what I was using. The reason why is because, again, Locked and Reloaded and In a Pinch is your bread and butter here. By the way, in a pinch, it doesn't say it, but it gives you reload speed. I'll put up an example right now you guys can see. As long as you finish the magazine, you get at least a 30% reload buff. Combine that with Locked and Reloaded to constantly have an extra 15% bonus damage. And if you're using SMGs or an LMG, you can change startup around if you want for mad tidings. It's not too much of a DPS loss, and if you're using a larger magazine weapon, it is a DPS gain. Is there better builds that you can bring to do more damage? Yes, but the point of the build is specifically to do constantly have a lot of uptime, to have a lot of uptime. Now, I know what you're thinking is that, yeah, but your DPS is going to fall off. Well, that's what I thought too, and it's true. You're not bringing mad tidings with you along with the crit damage and the assault base damage and all of that stuff. But what you lack in that damage, you make up for a different look on DPS. And that different look is basically you're going to be alive the entire fight forever. So even if you get that shielded, lava flowing tank modifier smasher boss that's building blocker and everything else, don't worry, your entire team will die, but you'll be there to pick them up. Remember, you don't even have to be killing anything because your traps do that for you. As long as your traps are killing stuff, you are being healed. So you cannot do DPS or damage if you're dead. And if you aren't dead, then you can continue to do damage. Now, the thing about this is it necessary to run around and tank a bunch of stuff in like a level 100 mission if you're not? Or if you're not level 100, then no. If you're max level running around in lower level missions, it's not really necessary. It'll make you feel like a god, but it's not 100% necessary. However, once you go up to 160, 174, 191, and you start adding some different modifiers into the mix, exploding death burst, healing death burst, frenzy death burst, slowing pools, smoke clouds, all of that stuff really makes it difficult in some missions. Very recently, especially on stream, I take lower levels into my missions, and we've been getting our butts handed to us. Like, legit losing missions because of certain modifiers, or we get a bad start and it's a smasher wave. Guess what? You will not die. Period. Well, you can die, but it's going to take a lot to actually kill you. I have a clip somewhere around here. I'll try to put it up on the screen right now. I literally stood in a trap tunnel to see how long it would take for me to die. Well, what actually happened was my game broke and I couldn't shoot or do anything, so I tried to basically see how fast I could die, and you can see the clip right here. Just watch the health keep going up and up and up. I'm getting traps from this tunnel that I'm standing in, plus I'm getting trap kills from the other tunnels that I may have put a trap or two in around the map, consistently healing me for a ton of health. I mean, I was in here for almost 25 seconds, 30 seconds, not dying, and I wasn't even shooting. Just the amount of healing you get is insane. You're going to be in their face constantly, doing damage, running around. It's a lot of fun to play. So even if you're not a math person, this is definitely a fun playstyle to run. There's just two more things I want to mention before we wrap this up. The first one is I tried to make a super synergistic build. Now, with Saurian Claws, you need to have a melee weapon, otherwise the perk's kind of useless. So I thought to myself, well, what can we use here? Since Survivalist Jonsey doesn't give you any base damage on anything, you can use really whatever you want. So I brought Buckle. Dealing sword damage increases pistol damage by 22%, and you're going to see it in the footage, me running around with a spectral blade, trying to get that sword damage off in a super high mission, and then switching to my pistols. Locked and Reloaded and In a Pinch works for any weapon, so it doesn't matter. What I found out that I liked using was the Last Word and the Ginger Blaster. That's the second point. The Ginger Blaster and the Candy Corn LMG. If you plan on using the Candy Corn LMG, by the way, change one of two of these perks for Startup and Mad Tidings. will drop these little healing gummies. Each gummy heals you for 10% HP. At 1.5 million, that's 150,000 health, give or take here and there. Sometimes I got 180,000, but most of the time it's around 150,000. The last little tip is if you give it to a defender, the Candy Corn LMG or the Ginger Blaster, they'll kill targets, allowing you to continue to be up close and personal with them, running around, using shockwave, all of that stuff, and picking up some healing along the way. This build is straight reckless. Have a lot of fun with it, test it out, and let me know what you think down in the comments below. There you go, guys. The Survivalist Jonsey straight reckless build. It's definitely a acquired taste. You have to be up close and personal. Blast from the past, allowing you to tank an insane amount of damage. And I say it, and I mean it, is that I feel like it's a late game perk, and hopefully we'll see some more stuff like that coming soon. If you made it to this part of the video, thank you for supporting the channel. If you want to do any more, I have a creator code with Tiktak 00. If you feel like buying some llamas or something like that, I would greatly appreciate it. If you guys want to check us out live on stream, it's twitch.tv/Roundedtiktak. A lot of you guys are showing up, and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you're new to the channel and want to check out builds like this, full breakdowns, weapon guides, and hero builds, I post videos like this 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a week. We'd love to have you as part of the pack. Make sure to hit that button. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you on the next one. Tiktak out.